What is going on, guys? My name is Furocity, and today I'm bringing you a review of the first DLC for Black Ops 3, which is Awakening. I'm going to be looking at all 4 multiplayer maps along with the zombies map that was added in. I'm going to be doing a review of each map separately and then a final verdict at the end to give you guys my overall rating of the DLC. So if you guys do like this and you want to see it for the rest of the DLCs, like this video, comment below, and show this video some support. So let's get straight into it. So I just want to let everyone know before I start doing this review that I'm going to be showing each map as I talk about it in the video, just to give you guys something to watch and so you guys can see the map, and I won't necessarily be talking about what you see, but I'll be talking about the map in general. So to start off the review, we're going to look at Gauntlet. Gauntlet is a very different map. It's definitely different than anything we've seen in past Call of Duties. This map's split into 3 lanes, 3 distinctive lanes, and allow for nearly any type of gameplay to be acceptable. If you're a sniper, there's definitely long ranges, there's long cover sites that you can pick people from. If you're a SMG or a quick rush player, there's a lot of corners to play and there's a lot of quick narrow splits between each layer that you can play through. And if you're in the middle sort of assault rifle, maybe an LMG, maybe a shotgun, something like that where you can rush but you can also pull back, it's not too hard to do, as this map really has a lot of angles and a lot of openings. So for this gameplay I used a bit of uplink gameplay just because it was the game mode that came out. For me personally, I've noticed that this map is really good when it comes to nearly any game mode. There is a lot of variety in the map which allows for any game type to be interesting, whether it comes down to 1v1s in S&D or it comes to really close kill matches in, say, free-for-all. This map also makes for really good objective-based games, as the map is not too big and there is always conflict in every part of the map. You can go through the map and not see anyone, but it's more likely that you'll run through a lot of players going from objective to objective. So for me, this is one of my favorite maps out of the DLC. This map is just so creative and so new, and this is exactly what Black Ops 3 needed. After only playing Combine for so long and never seeing maps like Exodus, I really wanted a map that everyone was going to enjoy and that looked different every time you play it, and this map is definitely the map we've been waiting for. Okay guys, so for the second map we're going to be looking at Rise, and Rise is personally the worst of all 4 in my opinion. I feel like the map is not confusing, but the layout is just really awkward when it comes to gunfights and when it comes to positioning, because I feel like you either hold one of the sides, which is a really long length area, or you try and hold the middle and it becomes a really angled, really just tight gunfight, and I feel like the mix between the two is really sharp and it just doesn't make for any good gameplay. This is just not a map I like. I feel like if we keep getting maps like this, we're going to keep running into the issue where players keep not voting it. To get this gameplay, I had to try and find a match and try and find a decent game that didn't either A, lag out, or B, be left with no players. Trying to find a game mode that is heavily populated with using this map is almost impossible. I actually had to go into the Awakening playlist and keep jumping in and out of lobbies until I found this lobby here, which actually voted the map in. So to me, that tells me that a lot of the community is having the same issue, where this map just tends to be a very unpopulated map, and that's to be expected. Not every map's going to be loved, and this just seems to be the odd one out of the bunch. Moving on, we now have Splash, and Splash is easily the most colourful map out of all 4, and even Drak. This map has got everything. It's got great design, great layout, great looking features, and great innovation when it comes to game mode mechanics being used throughout the entire map. This map is a complete gunfight. You can have a gunfight in any situation on this map and it'll feel like you're just surrounded. And that's what I really like about these new maps and these new Call of Duties. Black Ops 3 is doing a really good job when it comes to innovating their maps and when it comes to keeping their maps fresh and keeping their maps simple. And this is an idea that was easily done and very easily thought of, and I give credit to Treyarch for taking this on, because I know a lot of game developers and I know a lot of people would have just thought it's a good idea but not very practical. So this map one of my favorites, if not the favorite, except for one. And for the fourth map, we have Skyjacked, easily my favorite map out of all 4 multiplayer maps, and for the very good reason that this map is always going to be fun to play. You know that it's going to be a high kill game, you know that it's going to be a very fast paced game, and you know that you're going to expect action around every corner. And in the same regards, there is the problem of spawn trapping and little glitches like that, but to be honest, I don't feel like it's a big enough issue where the game is broken when it comes to this map. So for me, this being the best map is an understatement. I feel like the small spaces and the tight gameplay always makes every game mode entertaining and fun. Even S&D, when everything slows right down and it comes onto one-on-one situations, it still feels like you can't trust every corner and that your back must be against the wall every time you move around. So for me, Skyjack takes the cake. This is the #1 map out of all 4 multiplayer maps in this DLC. Now we're going to jump into the first installment of Black Ops 3 Zombies DLC, and we're going to start with Drak. And this map, you would not expect Treyarch to come out with such a big hitting map like Drak. I've only seen good things about the map. Yes, there are glitches, yes, there are bugs. Shadows of Evil had the same thing, and so did the Giant, but both maps were received very well and fairly even. So when I heard that there was Zombies DLC coming out, just like the other Call of Duties that involve zombies, I was very curious and very intrigued when the DLC dropped for PlayStation. And yes, this is recorded on Xbox One, but I watched streams as soon as I could for PlayStation 4, and I watched a few YouTubers, and their reactions to this map simulate mine perfectly. The fact that my jaw dropped at every turn as I noticed the graphics, the map entirely being different to anything we've ever seen. We've had Origins, we've had our Mob of the Dead, we've had Ascensions, we've had all those maps that just blow us away. But this map has done it again, and it's taken the standard to a new level where gameplays are going to start getting more and more and more complex, and that's what I feel Zombies is starting to get to. It's starting to get to this more strategic, complex. When we first look at Kino and we think, yep, this is going to be easy, we're just going to run around, we're just going to survive, and we now look at Drak and we think we can't just look around and survive. We can't just run around and hope we get good weapons. We've got to build the bows. We've got to get the DG2. You've got to do all these things, and that's what I feel makes a really good map. For me, Origins was easily one of my favorites, and now that they've remade the staff mechanic and put in bows, I think it was just amazing. Although I think the Easter egg needs to be fixed very, very soon, considering that it glitches out still on Xbox One, still on PlayStation 4, it just lags out for no reason. And the fact that even high quality PCs aren't coping with this map and the detail and the CPU usage and all those sort of things, this really needs to be an issue that is addressed, or if not addressed now, fixed for the next DLC, because we can't have broken DLC after the game is done and dusted. Once the next Call of Duty title comes out, we still can't have this sort of thing happening. So for me, Drak is an amazing map, and I hope that these complex, long, tedious maps, even though they do get annoying, do keep coming out. I really hope they do, because these maps are what keep me playing and keep me hooked for months and months and months on end. Okay guys, so we've just looked at all 5 maps for the first DLC of Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and it's time for the final verdict, and for me, this was a hit. All 5 maps have brought something brand new to the table. The only problem with this DLC, as I said earlier, is the map Rise. I think that map really needs to be either reconstructed or at least taken out of the... Just don't worry about that map. Take that map out, give us something different, and we'll go again, because that map I feel is just not up to par with the other 4. So for me, Skyjacked was absolutely amazing, definitely my favorite. Splash, another really close favorite, and it just makes for so much fun gameplay. Gauntlet, I love the fact that it's basically 3 maps in one. You can play 3 different ways and you can all do it within the same map, and I think that is a huge change in gameplay and game mechanics. And Drak being the brand new addition to zombies and living up to the hype that everyone was expecting has really blown me away. So for me, this DLC is definitely a hit. If you haven't downloaded it, or you haven't bought it, or you haven't even bought the Season Pass, I highly recommend it, because if this is what Black Ops 3 has in store, if this is what Treyarch's got planned, I can't wait to see the final DLC, or any of the DLCs coming up. So guys, that's my final verdict for this DLC. DLC 1, Awakening, is a massive hit, and I can't wait to see what comes next. So that's going to do me for today, guys. If you've enjoyed this review and you want to see more, be sure to leave a like on this video. Tell me down in the comments what you want to see. And don't forget to check out the social media links in the description, and also check out the music. The music will be in the description as well, just like every other video. So guys, I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one.
Than ever, you all thought you were clever, making me think we'd lost forever. Anyone next in line for me needs to step up. I was gonna give up on this shit, but we never say never. This is the devil's wish, I can't take this shit. I'm on the devil's list, that's how I always spit. This is the devil's wish, make me a diss. Just know that you won't win the demon, just get me a gift.